Hello teacups, what's brewing? So we're back again with Chantal. She uploaded a live stream. Now I'm going to just talk very quickly about her community tabs and we're going to go into the live. Fear not, we're not reacting to the entire thing, the 2 hour, I want to say 18-minute video. I mean, if a 20 to 30-minute video of hers turns out to be an hour-long content for me, can you imagine if I was trying to react minute by minute to the whole thing? Like, you'd all die of old age before we were finished. So I've got a few clips, but we're mostly going to be doing it recap style today. Again, I promise I'm not coming for Steve's gig here from Smoky Steve and Mark, but sometimes with her lives, it's the only way you can get through them. I will have a couple of clips just to illustrate what I'm saying, but that's all I can do to get through it. Unfortunately, I can't possibly do a huge 2 hour, 20-minute one. We're going to start with a couple of her community posts and one of my Twitter posts. I'd actually said she'd been quite quiet for the last couple of days, and in her last community post before that, she had said that she was sorry to give everyone whiplash, but she was considering eating healthy again. I think I mentioned it in my last react. And she disappeared then. And she got a little bit rage-filled a few hours later when people were being so negative because she was desperately trying to turn the conversation and expected a lot of people to come out in support of her so she could sweep everything else under the rug and, you know, support her being healthy, which I do support her getting healthy, but it was so obviously a change in topic that it was very hard to take seriously. But something I put up on Twitter yesterday, I think it was saying, hey, rose-colored glasses, but wouldn't it be awesome if she were taking these 2 days just to get over the hump of starting to eat healthily again? Because usually she starts it on YouTube, and then she fails within a day or so and she gets really gung-ho about it. What if she just did the sensible thing this time and she just did it off camera, came back and was like, I have been eating well for these days? Wouldn't that be nice? I'm, again, hoping, not hopeful, but wouldn't that be nice? And then we had some community posts when I woke up this morning. I'm obviously in a different time zone, but her first one was referencing the apology videos, multiple, that she had deleted. She deleted those a couple of days ago, and so it seemed a bit late to have an explanation now. But nevertheless, hey guys, so I deleted the video of my apology because I realised that it did look super wrong talking about the subject of racism over our dinner choice, which happened to be a racial stereotype that we didn't think of at all at the time. Okay, given all the talk between Gaining Ground and Charlie Gold and fried chicken and all the rest that had already happened, I think you should have been a bit more aware of that, but you're saying, okay, I've realised I've taken it down. Okay. It is little things like this that make me realise that as white people, we have to be really sensitive to how our actions may affect others, and how intent doesn't always matter. Okay, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of breaking this down, but if we take it as read, then we take it as read. However, this continues. Don't get me wrong, I do still think Charlie and others like her are bully, fat-shaming hypocrites. Okay, sounding more and more like you know, want to apologise. But I was wrong for lowering myself to her level. And at the end of the day, these people have to live with themselves. It's nothing to do with me anymore. Peace out. I wish she'd just stop at this point. She makes it so much worse for her every time. I think there's enough water under the bridge between her and Charlie that I understand her not liking her. They've both done some things and I'm like, oh, really? But at this point, there's no point saying I want to be sensitive, but actually my only problem was that I lowered myself. I cut the cord and just call it done. Yeah, you're not helping yourself out. I don't know exactly how long after that post, she posted, fuck it, I'm stress eating tonight and trying out a new Popeye's chicken sandwich here at Canada. Who's up for a night drive, live and Dine hangout? I don't know, because once you get into the hours, YouTube doesn't give exact times. But I don't know if it was the response to the other post that finally just like triggered her, if it was the fact that she was trying to eat healthier and this would have been the end of day 2, which is infamously the time when she tends to break down with a diet, and this is just an excuse, or is this just where she was before? I'm not sure. But the end result is She ate somewhat healthier for a day or two, and whatever the trigger, she's now gonna go and eat fast food. I do believe there was another live stream before the one that she left up because she named it Part 2. But there doesn't seem to be any evidence of that first live stream. So I don't know if she had a camera issue, it was just technical. If she had one, she said something she didn't want to leave up. I don't know how it went. We're starting from whatever she's got online because I was asleep. Just gonna move over slightly to make sure you can get the picture. Where we start, she's in line for the new chicken sandwich. I've got notes, I'm gonna be referencing. I got a lot of notes, it was a long life. She's in line for the new chicken sandwich. Apparently there's like an hour wait, and she's like, I don't think I should wait because a lot of people want it. It was sold out on Uber Eats, so she obviously tried to order it in first, and she decides to go to Burger King instead. She also mentioned she's got toilet paper in the car, which is always gonna lead to something good. But here is the first clip of her talking about the last 2 days that we missed.
I ate healthy all day yesterday. I'm going crazy. I like eat healthy for a while and then like, I'm just like, I need junk. Of course I don't need junk, but you know what I'm saying. But I can't eat it to the caliber I was eating it. Like some days I would just like eat only fast food. Like I would order like my meal, like the Popeyes meal for my mukbang, and then I wouldn't eat anything else. So obviously I'm gonna feel like crap. I'm not getting any vitamins or anything, so I have to try to like find a balance where I eat like kind of 80-20 or like, you know what I'm saying? Like what I've always wanted to do, but it's hard. Just like eat healthy around eat a mixture of both basically, but I don't know.
She's tried this balance thing. Like obviously she's been eating the way she thinks healthy people eat for a couple of days. It's been problematic for her. Balance is good, but she referenced, and I'm assuming this post is no longer up on her community tab, but I haven't checked, it might be there. But she said in her post saying she wanted to eat healthier a bit, that she recognizes she cannot control junk food. She is all or nothing, she cannot have a little bit. And here we are 2 days later saying, no, I just need to find a balance. Balance is a wonderful thing. And if she didn't have the psychological reaction she has to junk food, I would say yes. Because if she were to say, okay, 80%, 20% of the time, it would still be a massive improvement from where she was. But she can never just have some junk food. It always turns into a huge binge. She's not someone who can eat it in moderation, and she has proven that again. So physically, it would probably be better for her to have a limited junk food diet than the all junk food all the time she's been having recently. But psychologically, mentally, it's going to make her binge, and she's not going to be able to maintain that balance. So I would just say get rid of it, because the first few days will be harder. But again, once you get through those days, it's going to be much easier to say I cannot have it than to say, well, I'll control how much of it I have. I'm speaking from experience. I think we react to those triggers in very similar ways. I really don't think moderation will work for her, and she's shown no evidence of it working for her in the past. And also the amount of food she eats when she's binging stops that balance from working. Because if you're saying, okay, I'll have one fast food meal once a week, yeah, she could do that. She burns enough calories existing that she could do that, but that's not what she'll do. Okay, she then goes on to say she's going away for the weekend and she doesn't like sleeping out. I'm guessing because she has no control over her environment. We see later in this live stream that when a place is busy, she doesn't want to be in there. She doesn't want people seeing her. And she really likes to control what's going on around her so that she can present what she wants to present. I mean, the things she chooses to present are a whole nother issue. But she doesn't like not knowing, and we don't see her go out that much. She doesn't tell us where she's going this weekend. Usually when she goes away, it's because she's going to see family, so I would guess that. But that's why she's doing the live stream right now. She's putting off doing the thing she needs to do to get ready for the weekend. So she's just like, oh, I just came into the car and I did a live stream and I'm trying this. She never explains the reason why in her post she said she's stressed. She didn't explain the reason for that, unless it's just the pressure of knowing she's going to be seen, which she doesn't handle very well. Let's just have a look. Okay, I have another clip.
Obviously, I shouldn't announce things, right? Because I never do. I never do them. Which, yeah, obviously, I'm very indecisive and everything. That's me.
She blames being indecisive a lot, whereas in this point, this time around, shall we say, the point of her announcing it was never to do it. It was to deflect from everything else going on. So this is kind of a special example this way, but usually she says, oh, I'm indecisive, like she changed her mind. She didn't change her mind, she failed. There is a difference. Now, failure is a part of eventually succeeding. You're going to fail until you succeed, and you have to keep trying. And she doesn't. She cuts off, she goes through a whole cycle again, and then she comes back to it when she can't avoid it anymore. So I wish she wouldn't say indecisive like, oh, I thought about it, then I just changed my mind. She didn't. She thought about it, she tried it, she found it hard, and then after 2 days, she's having a fast food binge. And I wish she would be more honest with herself about that, because I feel she could make more progress that way, you know? So it goes on from there. She's been playing video games. She gives us a short cat update. She said that yesterday she had a healthy breakfast, her fiber bud things, and that she had the leftover Somalian stew for lunch. So it sounds reasonable. She also says that she brought the TP just in case, and if you have irritable bowel syndrome, you know. I'm sure it's very difficult. If you have a digestive issue like that might catch you unawares. So I'm not blaming her for being prepared, but a lot of her issues are self-inflicted with her diet. So I would say an easier way to control that would not to be doing exactly what she's doing. But we'll get into that a little bit later. She then is reminiscing about 8th grade with somebody in chat. I don't know if that somebody went to school with her. The way she was talking about one of her teachers made it sound like the person would know. But I was watching a download of this just in case she deleted it, so I didn't have the chat running as well. She sees a Tim Hortons for the bathroom, but she says that going in the bushes is better. It's more freeing to be in nature. That's up to her, I suppose. She then goes to Burger King.
I always ask for the single patty, but a lot of their burgers have like double patty. You know, it's like the Grill House double XL 5 patty beef explosion burger. Like, no, chill out. You know? I just like the Whopper. Plain old Whopper. 1 patty. Plain old 1 patty.
I find that a bit funny that she goes on like, look how excessive it is when she frequently eats so much. I mean, didn't she have a mukbang where she had like 3 double cheeseburgers from McDonald's? So I don't know if this complaint is just for Burger King, because Burger King do have multiple patties in their Whoppers that you can choose from, and maybe she doesn't like them as much. But she doesn't seem to have had a problem eating double cheeseburgers before, so I'm not sure why it's so offensive here. In terms of her Burger King order, she gets a Cajun crispy chicken combo with Diet Coke. She asks for 2 zesty sauces, onion rings instead of fries, and mod sticks with marinara. But I find it weird that she's saying, oh, but multi-patties are gross, which is how she describes them. She goes, ew, gross. And you're like, what? What now? She gets a little bit aggressive about her food, about like the sauces in her food and things. Let's go into the clips.
I better not forget any of my sauces, or else. Hey, are all sauces in there? Okay, guys, let's go.
She sounds so happy now she's got her
How would I
food.
say beauty bite in French? Let me see.
Oh.
Bouffe de beauté? I don't know. I don't know.
I left that clip in for Mike. I'm hoping he'll come into the comments. I did ask my friend who speaks French, who lives in Canada, because words are sometimes used differently regionally, and Quebec versus standard French. I thought birth was beef, and I'm going to butcher all pronunciations because I do not myself speak French past like my high school experience. But I put it into Google, and it said that monsieur was bite, monsieur de beauté. But as I said, I thought bouche was mouth, which might be what she was trying to say there. And when I spoke to my friend in Canada, she did say sometimes bouche is used to mean like a little bite. I assume a bit like we use the word mouthful in English, like, oh, can I have a mouthful of that, to mean can I just have a little. So it could be that what she's using, it just differs from standard French. But yeah, and I also hope that she's just making fun of her own pronunciation because she starts saying booty and stuff instead of however it's meant to be pronounced, but I'm pretty sure it's not that. But I would love Mike's thoughts down in the comments, please, because he always wants to hear us speak French. I'm leaving this whole next section of the French she spoke because even as a non-speaker, her accent sounds like crapshoot in this. But Mike, for you.
Je suis québécoise, je reste à Gatineau. Eh bien, comment on dit beauty bite en français d'abord?
Okay, so the live stream continues. She starts talking about her October calendar. And I'm actually quite excited about some of the Vlogtober things she's planning. I know that she plans to do it every year, and she usually does like a couple of things and then gives up. But she seems to be planning it more a little bit now. Now, how much she goes through with those plans is always in question. But before, she did like 2 things and then she couldn't think of anything else, or she got sick or something. So I would love her to do some of the things she mentions in this live, I really would. But she said that her calendar is filling up. I'm excited about the Vlogtober stuff. I always like to see her getting out and doing things instead of sitting in her house all the time. She also complains that her car smells of burning oil, which is not reassuring. Later, she moves away and it goes, so I don't know if it's a surrounding car or if it was hers and it's just resolved itself, but I would be concerned. She then moves on to the topic of BB.
So, maybe next week. One time soon, anyways, when he's off, BB is going to... I've been craving this African dish he makes. It's like cassava. It's so good. It has like the green cassava leaves, which is kind of like, it's more bitter than spinach, but it's like delicious. You put like smoked meat, smoked turkey leg, ground peanut, red oil, onions, garlic. Oh, it's so good. And like beef, and the meat becomes so tender and just like, oh, I've been craving it, and I don't make that dish as well. I could try, but what's the point? I mean, making a big thing and then Pete won't eat that. And I know BB likes it.
I've got a few points to make here. One, you've never worried about big portions before. And I don't know who's stopping you, who's standing bodily in front of the freezer so you can't freeze the leftovers. But either make the recipe smaller, or freeze multiple portions so you can eat it later, or you could record this for your series of foods around the world, which we may or may not ever see again. Like, there's lots of things you could have done this, and you're saying, okay, BB makes it better. Free BB, you guys, free BB. Like, I thought we were done. I thought we had cut that cord. And yes, she's saying, okay, they're still friends in the sense of, I don't think they have any trouble between them, but I don't think they're friends. I think their relationship is over. So I really think this would have been good content for her to learn, saying, I'm not very good at it, but I'll get better. Let me film a video. But also leave BB alone. He's done his time.
I have to get a bone density scan. I don't know if I already told you guys that.
I don't think
get a bone density scan on Tuesday, which is... I don't even know what the hell that is, but whenever you like enter menopause at a young age, they want to keep track of, because if you're not producing estrogen, then that can be like detrimental to your bone density and to your heart. So that's why I'm on like supplemental, like I'm on a low dose of estrogen, like a patch.
She has mentioned her medicine before, her hormone medicine before. I can't remember exactly what she was taking before, but I remember her opening the fridge saying, that's my medicine. I didn't like the side effects, so I came off it. And it didn't sound like she'd been working with a doctor. She just stopped taking it. And I was like, what? Because that doesn't seem like the best of ideas. So she's now confirming she's on something else. She's on a patch, which I'm assuming you wouldn't have to keep in the fridge. So thankfully, it sounds like she's had a conversation with a doctor about it, and at least she's being kept an eye on now, and they're just, you know, watching her and testing her. So good luck in a bone density scan. I understand that's a thing, and I'm glad that she's being more careful with her health in that way, at least, because that is something you can track and be careful of. So she just continues driving, not a lot happens. We're going to go into the next clip. I can't remember if I have this clip or not. If I do, she mentions the houses for sale in the area, and she said she's come to the realization that Pete's and her will probably be roommates for life. I think to an extent that's probably true, assuming Pete's doesn't move back in with his mum. But they have been together for a long time, either together or as friends. I could see that continuing just because neither of them cares enough about something else to get out of it. It's an easier option. But the way she talks about the houses, she was like, oh, I bet, and she kind of cuts herself off, makes it seem like she's thinking of the cost and how they're kind of unreachable for her. But I do think if she managed her channel and her food costs better, she could probably invest in housing. Whether she wants to or not is up to her. She doesn't have to. It would obviously be a more long-term goal because, you know, saving a deposit is no small thing. But she does seem, and this is going to come up later, she does seem to be going through, you know, money like water more recently. I've noticed it more extremely in recent times. But, you know, if she saved a deposit, she could manage a mortgage. It would be, her rent would be mortgage money, you know? She also said she doesn't want to be in a relationship again. I don't personally believe that. When she's talking about her and Pete's being together forever in a friendship way. I think all the signals we've seen thus far since her breakup point to her wanting to be in a relationship with someone. But I don't think she thinks it will happen. I think she recognizes how hard it's going to be with her being how she feels physically, how she's doing mentally, getting out and meeting somebody, explaining certain parts of her life. I think it's not necessarily always going to be easy for her. And so I think she's just, it's one of those things of, okay, I don't think it's going to happen, so I'm choosing for it not to happen, rather than her actually wanting it not to happen. She also starts talking about men that she finds attractive. She makes a point of naming men from all around the world because she's not racist, guys. I'm gonna cut out, she finally finds somewhere to park. She's been driving for 10 or 20 minutes at this point, but she finally finds somewhere to park and she is not happy with her food, guys.
They only gave me one zesty. They didn't give me any marinara sauce. You heard me say, are my sauces in there? And he said yes. What he should have said is, no. Beauty bite. Boof bote. Ow. He gave me old crappy onion ring. These are like hard as a rock. I could use these for self-defense. This is a ripoff. I'm complaining to Burger King. You get free food. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna throw these out the window. Feed them to the serial killer over there. This is hard as a rock. Hard as a rock. The onion rings, look, hard as a rock. They're not fresh.
There's a lot to get into here, but I would say during the drive, while she's trying to find somewhere to park quietly in the dark to eat it so no one can see her, even though this is definitely not a binge and she's not ashamed, she drives for a while. And she's saying during that drive that she can smell the onion rings. That means they're hot, that means they're fresh. So I think she was maybe expecting them to be completely fresh, but 10-20 minutes on, of course they're not fresh. Now that being said, I'm not saying she's wrong to be disappointed in the sense of those do seem rock hard, and she did specifically ask, are all my sauces in there? So she didn't get great service, but as far as I understand fast food places, because I've never worked in one, everyone has a station. So that guy was probably just handed your food, and when you said, are the sauces in there, rather than dig through your food to see, he was just like, yes, if you've asked for sauces, they should be in the bag. And okay, she didn't get them, fair enough, but she goes on with the Burger King and the fact that she's not happy that Burger King did not give her what she asked for. And her response seems somewhat disproportional. Somebody asks for a story, and I was like, please do not indulge us, please do not indulge us. And she tells a story about a girl who goes out in the Beesmobile and gets Burger King, and it's hard as a rock, and she screamed in fright. Like, she goes into it, and I'm like, this seems a disproportional response for some shitty fast food. Also, throwing food out of the window is a child's response. I don't like what I've got, let me throw it on the floor. Like, seriously? Put it in the bag, throw it away where it's supposed to be thrown away. Don't just trash the place, what's wrong with you? Okay, she then, because she's sitting, has a chance to read the chat a little bit, and there's a question about online stalking.
Have you ever had an online stalker? I have some now.
This is in response to her address just got doxxed on the farms. And when it did, she got super angry and she put up a community post saying, I'm giving you 1 day to take it down. And then realized that she had confirmed the dox, and that was stupid. And she took that post down. I don't agree with doxing. I understand why she might feel that way, but there are things she probably shouldn't have done right after that, including confirming that dox was real. There is some kind of ongoing joke about babies being locked in her basement going on in chat, as far as I can tell. I don't entirely understand, and I'm kind of glad she doesn't know what, that I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know if it's something a troller suggested in the comments. I'm not willing to go and look any further with that. But she continues reading parts of the chat. So during this conversation she has with chat, which I'm not giving you clips of the whole thing, but she confirms she's more scared of ghosts than aliens, because this is the kind of conversation they have. So she says that aliens just anal probe you or do experiments on female reproductive organs, which she doesn't have. That seems a very specific take on alien abduction, and it makes me wonder what kind of porn she's been watching, quite frankly, because she seems to have very specific ideas on what goes on, which either she has researched heavily or she's gotten from somewhere. But anyway, moving right along, she starts talking about what she's planning for Halloween. As I say, I'm quite excited about what she's doing for Halloween. So let's get into that.
I was gonna order a Ouija. Okay, so I'm planning a Halloween party with just a few friends because of COVID, and because I only have a few friends.
That was quite funny because she made such a point of saying how many friends she's got, and no, she's got so many friends. And now she's like, actually, no, I don't. I've only got a few. And she tries to back off from this a little bit later by saying she has lots of friends, and actually she was joking. But I'm not so sure. But she gets a little, like, she feels the need to explain it, which makes me think that it's kind of the lady doth protest too much a little bit. We will get into that in a moment. Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth with all my clips, which is why you're getting so many cuts. She does talk about something that I think is a really nice Halloween idea. She said she's going to be ordering a ton of creepy board games. And if she isn't going to have many people around, she doesn't want to physically exhaust herself too much. I think that would be quite nice for a Halloween activity.
But I'm ordering creepy board games. Do you guys ever play? They have a Shining board game. They have an It series of Monopoly. Might play Nightmare. I'm gonna decorate. We're gonna do a video of Pizza and I vlogging going to Spirit Halloween and buying decorations and treats for this party. It's gonna be so fun. Might get a Ouija board.
I really like all those ideas. I think it would be really nice to have a board game night. She'd have fun. She'd get to see people in a kind of control because of COVID way, even if we're not taking that as the excuse, like it is a valid thing. I think going and filming the decorations would be really nice. I think there's a lot of content there that could be kind of spooky themed that would be fun to watch. So I'm glad she's got those ideas. I'm glad she's going out and planning to do things. It sounds like it would be a really fun month.
I do have lots of friends. I was joking.
So going back.
I don't see them all, usually. I mean, I have a lot of friends in my hometown I should see more often. I'm the one who's like antisocial these days, you know? Most of my friends, it's like we don't talk for a while, and then like we talk like social media, but like even if I haven't seen them in a while, when I do, it's just like yesterday, you know? Most of my friends I've been friends with since school. Rena I haven't known for years and years, but she's still one of my besties. I live with like my best friend. Like, I do a lot of things with Pete, you know?
I think it's okay not to have a big circle of friends. I do. And I think this is not true for everybody, obviously, but I think as you get older, you're less likely to have a massive circle of friends and are more likely to connect with a few. I also fully understand that there are friendships where you don't talk for a long time and then you pick it up and it's like no time has gone by. Those are real things, so I can't sit here and say that she either does or doesn't have them. But I will say that day to day, we don't see her interact with many people, and it tends to be Pete's or Rena, and Rena we haven't seen very much of recently. And that could be COVID, that could be that she's got so many other things going on, and that she does tend to isolate. So I'm not saying it's not true, but I'm saying we haven't seen a lot of evidence of these other friends. And while I believe they probably existed at some point, there comes in a lot of friendships a time where if you only communicate infrequently and through social media, you're not really good friends anymore. That's not true for everybody. I'm not saying it can't be true or not true for her, but that's been my observation living abroad and having to keep up relationships with people that I don't see very often. It is hard to do, and given her nature of self-isolating, I think it's unlikely that she's put that kind of effort into those relationships. But I could be wrong in this. So she sits in her car and she eats her food.
Whew, that was filling. I'll be hungry in 10 minutes. Today's a treat day. What if I like eat healthy for 2 days in a row? Then eat like crap, then eat healthy for 2 days, eat like crap. Like what if I start off by eating like crap 3 days a week and eating healthy for 4? I wonder how that would work out.
It wouldn't. And we know that from experience. If you eat crap for 1 day, you're gonna eat crap for a week. It's just how she works. And I'm not blaming her for it. Everyone has a different relationship with food. It won't work for her. If she could maintain, I'll eat like crap for 2 days and I'll be on track for 5, it might give her enough of a calorie deficit given what she eats now to help her. But the amount she eats in a small space of time, if she were binging, and she always does binge with fast food, she can never just stop at one meal. Maybe not at the same time, even though frequently she does eat double meals. But if she ate one thing, she would then be like, well, today hasn't been perfect, so I'll start again tomorrow, and it would just escalate. It would. Okay, she's now thrown her food away, and she has a chance to look at the chat. She promotes some mods because the chat is apparently a mess. So she's like, oh, who wants to be mod? I have to know you. She promotes them. She gets a creepy message saying, please poop in the woods. I'm like, oh, the fact that someone is there for that. Whether it's a troll, whether it's a real person, I'm saddened by that. She is getting visibly less comfortable over the next few minutes, but she's disappointed she can't go out and poop because there is a car parked. She suddenly feels quite sick. She takes a minute. She thinks she's gonna puke. It calms down. She sees someone coming out of the wood and she drives off scared. It terrifies her. She was telling a story as she came into this area about a girl getting murdered there. So why she chose to drive into an isolated wooded area to eat would be a question, but there we go. She continues to drive and the urge passes a little bit. So at first she's like, I've got to find somewhere, and she's really having problems. And then she mentions, okay, she doesn't have to go right now, And she thinks that eating healthier for a couple of days makes a difference with that because she's been eating more fiber, she's been eating more whatever. So it's not as urgent immediately. My question would be, if she doesn't really have to, why did she want to do it in the woods? Like, go home or go to a bathroom? I would say getting out of your car and squatting in the woods would be an emergency situation. And if it wasn't an emergency situation, maybe calm down a little bit. I don't understand why she doesn't just go find a bathroom if it's not an emergency. She said, okay, we're gonna go for a drive and then stop. She says she didn't overeat, which, given that she had a full meal and she had an extra side of mozzarella sticks, I wouldn't say she ate a little there, but maybe she means overeat as in she didn't binge as much as she could, which is technically true, but she thinks that all makes a difference. She talks about ordering full clothes. Again, something that she had mentioned before, but she said she ordered them rather than, she was talking about how they were going to go to Kingston and get them. I think she said she was going to visit her mum, or she was visiting her mum and then they were going to go together. I'm not sure if her mum lives in Kingston or not, but it was going to be, I'm sure she mentioned going to do that, and I don't know why she's changed her mind and is now ordered. I would have thought trying the clothes on would have been better for her, but maybe the idea of going and trying clothes on is a bit too exhausting, or maybe, I know that the weather has turned. My friend was complaining that she woke up cold this morning, so it is pretty nippy in Canada at the moment. There's been a bit of a cold snap. She said she ordered the same jacket that she left at a friend's a long time ago. She doesn't want to ask for it back because a friend might be using it. That seems a bit weird to me. I think it's more like if it's a long time ago, her size has probably changed, so she just wants to order it. But if her size hasn't changed, then that's incredibly lazy and wasteful. If it has changed, there's no reason to mention it, just say you ordered a new jacket. She then went into talking about a photographer. So let's just go to the video.
I want to do like photo shoots. I know somebody who does photography, and like I've known them for a little while. Yeah, I knew this like photographer guy. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so this photographer guy, he like he's cute. I've known him for a while, and I was gonna get like, this was before I started YouTube. I knew him. He started being like flirty, and because I was with BB, I just stopped talking to him. Like, he was really flirty. Like, he wanted to meet up. He's like, I can be discreet, and I was like, no. Like, he wasn't like, no, definitely not. So I don't know if he's single now. I haven't talked to him in a while, but like maybe he would do like photo shoot for me, like just some photos for my Instagram, you know what I mean? Because I'm not good at like doing pictures, and I like, with all the new clothes I'm getting, I want to do like a fall kind of look for like my Instagram. Sexy photos? No. There are so many plus size, beautiful plus size Instagram models that are so stylish. I wish I was like good at decorating and stuff like that, but I want to try to get into it. I think it would be like a fun hobby to work on like that side of Instagram for me. I have to find like things I like to do, and I don't like people are like in a hobby. I don't like I have hobbies, I just don't like, you know, like I don't like crafts and shit like that.
I had to cut a lot of clips together to get that all in one cohesive piece. The photographer, I haven't seen here yet, of course he wanted you. Maybe he did, what do I know, maybe he did. I would say this does make me think a lot about the French lover when she's saying, oh, I wouldn't, or maybe I would. Like, she wants to be with someone right now. Whether she's just horny, she mentions her new medicine her medicine for her hormones does make her horny, which I cut out for you because I love you. And she's clearly not comfortable with the topic of the photographs, because as she's talking about it, she's going on side rambles that I ended up cutting out. Like, she's being very distracted while she talks, and it's a bit like when she's talking about something that she's not comfortable with, and then she goes in for her cats when she's at home. It felt a bit like that. But she mentioned, you know, she's not sure what she would do, or maybe she would do, and this photographer really wanted her. And I'm like, maybe consider it a problem if he offers. Maybe, you know, if he makes the suggestion. Because you're saying you haven't seen him for a long time, and this is going to be the French lover all over again, where he hasn't made any overtures to you. You're saying you're going to seek him out. So maybe wait and see what happens before you worry about it, yeah? Oh, I was gonna say, like, the idea of her filming kind of a lookbook and getting a photographer and putting it up on Insta, it That's fun. She says she's not good at clothing or at decorating, whatever, but she could learn that. I'm not saying she has to learn a craft, but we have said multiple times, go get a hobby. And seeing her get more interested in her clothes and in her surroundings and in just, you know, making her life look better, even if people consider that kind of a shallow aim, I think it's something nice to be interested in. So I say go for it. And if she wants to get nice pictures done, I'm here for that. I think it would be nice content. I know she really wants to be a plus size influencer. I think she's gone a little bit too far with everything online to get there. But there are plus size people who don't get the hate she does. And she could sort of try and emulate that if she wanted to, but she has to stop snapping and going back to her actual personality in order to pull it off. Like the rebrand, I don't think will work. But as a thing, as a nice event, as a video, I think that'd be interesting. I'd be here for her getting some nice photos of herself. We then move on again to what she's doing Halloween night. Let me give you the video.
Halloween night, my friends and I are going to Kingston. We're going to dress up. Wait till you see my Halloween costume. Okay, I'm going to tell you. There's a Torrid dress. It's an Ursula costume. It's a nice dress, and it has like the voice shell. And I'm gonna dress up as because I have long brown hair, as the pretty Ursula. I don't know, Jamie B. It depends on a lot of things. I'm gonna wait to see how things are end of October. And I gotta find a good makeup tutorial. I'll figure it out. Poor unfortunate souls.
You guys. People go on about her looking about Ursula and it's a little bit mean, but how amazing would she look as underwater Ursula? Like if she really went for it, if she got the wig, she got the makeup, she did the costume. You guys, I am here for it. Fuck the pretty Ursula, do that one, you'd be amazing. And this isn't even me throwing shade. Guys, I love costumes. I love dressing up for Halloween. I love all that. When my kids in China would celebrate Halloween, we'd all get dressed up. And it's fun. She could have some fun with that and she could really embrace it. Like she could do it. So this whole thing of saying I have brown hair, so I'm going to do the pretty Ursula. No, do the full out villain Ursula. You would look amazing and I would be here for it. Those are the photos I want to see. And I am not throwing shade with this. I'm telling you, unabashedly, I want to see her dressed up as villain Ursula. Because I think she would look good. And I don't mean that ironically. I don't mean that as me shit throwing. I think she'd look great and I want to see it. Okay, now I've gotten over. It would be amazing, you guys. That thing, I think the pretty one was called Veronica. I don't think she should go for the Veronica. People are just going to make fun of her. I'm telling you, Ursula. Ursula, you could just fucking own it. It'd be amazing. She then gets out of the car to show the river in the dark. And actually, I was going to give her a bit of shit, being like, oh, you're going to just walk up to the river and show us the black. But it looks like it could be, it's lit up a little bit. It looks like it could be a pretty spot. There were a couple of girls waiting there when she arrived. She kind of waited them out and they went. I'm not sure what the spot is there for, if the circuit she's driving on is a scenic route or what, but it looked nice. And she had another good idea for Vlogtober. Vlogtober sounded more and more exciting, where she was considering renting a room for a night in a supposedly haunted hotel, a local one, and going there with Pete. And again, I think that would be awesome content, and she'd be comfortable with Pete there. She wouldn't give a shit. So definitely she could tell us a little bit about it. She could show us around. It'd be fun. I think she should do it. She then needs to go to the bathroom really bad. The time from before where she said she needed to and then no, it wasn't that bad, has come back. She's a little bit desperate. Oh, she had a thing while she was driving for this bathroom when she's talking about her poop and singing songs about how she really needs the poop. Yeah, that's a thing. I will spare you. She acknowledges that she's really being a lady right now. And then she's like, it's 2020. Being a lady is dated and overrated. And she tells the She tells the chat, if you agree and you're a lady who likes laughing at farts and talking about poo, put a 1 in the chat. And I don't think the chat went with her because she told them all that they are prudes and they're full of crap. So I don't think chat went with her. I would point out, when I tell her to be a lady, I'm not asking her to be this dated idea of a dainty 1950s to her mind house. I'm saying, please show a modicum of basic human manners and social propriety. And that is a bar a little too high for her, but that's what I'm asking for when I say be a lady. I'm like, please don't be actively disgusting in a way that would gross lots of people out. And unfortunately, I'm frequently disappointed. But she has issues with me asking for her being a lady, or for anybody asking her to be a lady. And there they are. But it was quite funny to see the chat just be like, nah, dude, it's gross. Which is what I assume from her response happened. She says she's getting tired and she still has a lot to do. She also makes the point of she's doing the live to kind of distract from her responsibilities of, I guess, packing. I'm guessing that's what she has to do, or getting the house ready for her to go for a couple of days or whatever it is. She does this a lot where she says, you know, she wants to kind of run away from her real life, from her responsibilities. She just wants to go somewhere. It's why she goes on drives. I really wish she'd look a bit closer at what in her life she's trying to get away from so that she wouldn't have to do this so much. Because clearly something is bothering her that she doesn't want to acknowledge for her to need to run away all the time. She also says she's getting a Renaissance painting of her cats done, which, whew, that was full out cat lady, but you know, random, but whatever floats your boat, I suppose. She's clearly managing her money very well. I hope to God that's not expensive. That is a choice. She goes to Tim Hortons. It's only open for drive-through, so she can't go to the bathroom. She needs to find a deserted area. She's getting annoyed that it's so busy. She won't go to the open McDonald's across the street because it's too busy. I want to know, but I don't want to know. What on earth is she doing in there? How bad can it be that she can't just go in and use a restroom? It must be awful. And then I feel sick for thinking about it. She ends up going to Pizza. She said I'm going to hit all my hotspots. So she's got like a list of places that's okay for her to go and ruin the bathroom in. And so Pizza is the next stop. She mentioned something about her condition and how she could affect it. I'll give you the video.
I suspect even if I didn't eat any crap anymore ever, it would take a while. And you know what? There's healthy food that upsets my do not want to be in my house when I eat cruciferous vegetables. You will need a gas mask.
That wasn't a cut by me. She was having some connection issues. That's why her sound went out. And that's not true though, because when she did about 3 days of just purely healthy food. And she said that almost immediately her issues stopped. She went from going to the bathrooms multiple times immediately to twice a day. So I don't believe she has IBS. I believe she has IBS-like symptoms as a result of her diet. And if she fixes her diet, she's going to see massive improvements incredibly quickly, as she did before. If 2 healthy foods do that, don't eat those 2 healthy foods, but also take out the junk food. I think you'll see a big difference. Karate Joe, I think, was late to chat, and he starts giving a shit about being on for so long. I don't know if he's a little bit jealous of all the mods she's promoted, but he gets super creepy and bossy with her a lot of the times. He's like, okay, time to finish. She mentions he's quite dad-like in that way, but it gives me really creepy vibes. He seems very controlling and quite patronizing when I've seen him in chat. I don't know exactly what he was saying this time. I didn't have chat running, but I didn't like it. Go into the next video. She continues to talk about some of the stuff she's doing in Halloween.
Okay, so on October 31st, we're going to Kingston. We're going to go to Fort, probably, I don't know if this is really going to happen, but we want to go to Fort Fright. It's like a fort, military big fort thing that's going to be like all haunted house kind of thing. Excuse me. And then we want to go to Skeleton Park, which is like apparently haunted over graves. Kingston is actually really haunted. It's a pretty haunted place. So I got some fun things planned and I'm gonna do them.
I do hope she does do them. She has a way of planning things and then being like, I don't want to. But she seems to have some really good things planned. And I know that being in a group makes it less likely for her to do it because she doesn't want to be seen. She gets embarrassed. But, oh, I want her to do it. It'd be fun. She wants to go dumpster diving again. Like, the chat kind of goes on a little bit. She wants to go dumpster diving again, and I'd be here for that. I'd be here for any content that was on mukbangs, quite frankly. And she seemed to be enjoying it. Okay, so after this conversation, she drives around looking for a dessert place. And after a few different places, she decides finally to go to McDonald's. She mentions that she wants to go dumpster diving again, and I'd be here for that. I liked that content. It's interesting to find what she found. She doesn't have a lot of mobility, but she goes with her friends sometimes. And while she's waiting at McDonald's, the conversation turns back to the photographer.
Anyway, should I contact that photographer? He'll probably end up wanting to shag. And I don't want to. Or maybe I will want to. I don't know. I don't think I want to. I think it'll be really weird having sex with somebody other than BB. I want you back. I want you back. I want you back good. Can you get, maybe I can get an ovaries transplant and then I can have kids. No, I'm just joking. That's the thing. Like, I was bummed that I can't have kids with BB, but at the same time, I don't really want them.
There is a lot going on there. As I said, the idea of, oh, he's probably going to want a shag, like, wait until you're offered and then worried about it, yeah? That's the parallel with the French lover I was talking about, like, worry about it later. But more interesting, what she was saying about BB there, that to me really, really confirms for me that it was the kids' issue that ended their relationship for good. Because I know the stories she's told, but if she hadn't had those issues, I think they might still be together. And that's kind of sad. That's sad for her because she clearly wants to be in this relationship with BB. She wasn't expecting them to break up. She was very upset. I have no problem with her not wanting kids. I think she doesn't have to. There's nothing wrong with not wanting kids. You know, there's a lot of stuff and expectations in society of, oh, you should want kids. You shouldn't. And I'd much rather she realize that now than realize it after she had kids, had the option been available to her. But the fact that she's joking about having an ovary transplant, it makes it sound like if it hadn't been for that, they'd still be together. And that was an interesting slip. She's obviously still very hung up on BB. She's literally sitting here singing I Want You Back when thinking about him. So this was a really revealing moment for her, I think. I mean, we've speculated before. We know he wanted kids, but this did a lot. She then went on to say she wanted to pre-order the PS5, which is $629 Canadian. As I say, she's been spending money like water recently. She's talking in her chat about Paper Mario that she's been playing. And she said it's sold out, so she can't pre-order it, and that she considers camping out for it, and that would be good video content. Yes, it would be, but then she discards the idea, which I think is sensible. She can't handle a drive. It's going to be difficult for her to handle a camp out in terms of all the issues she has physically. We've speculated about her money before. That's a chunk of change to just drop on a game system. Now, obviously spend your money any way you like, but it's a big expenditure to just do on a whim. And it makes me wonder all about her money again. She asks if we know what it's like to be putting something off and say you'll get up early and do it. She's talking about packing or whatever she needs to do to prep for her trip, which is still the reason this live stream was so long, is because she was still just trying to avoid it. She gets to McDonald's and she checks out the hot guy in line next to her, and she says her hormones have been messed up and she's been super horny. Which, okay, I mean, you got needs and you're not in a relationship anymore. She's stuck between not wanting to be in a relationship but desperately wanting D. Oh, she does make this, she says do this to chat though, and you gotta watch it because I'd be here for this.
Everybody go right to a Love Island show. What channel is it on? Tell them you want a BBW season and you want me to be in it.
I would be here for that. You guys, I think Love Island, 90 Day Fiance, what were the others? The Bachelor, is that one with the roses? I think it's all utter trash, and I hate those shows. I really do. Big Brother, all of that stuff. I don't like it. But her on an island somewhere looking for, I'm here. Make those phone calls, write those emails. I want to see it. I don't have any more clips, so I'm just going to go through what we've got here. She complains that her scalp is itchy, which then reminds her to tell us how great the hair mask from FabFitFun was. I'm confused. One of those things does not seem to correlate with the other. Either you've got an itchy scalp and the product is crap, or you don't have and the product is great. I don't understand. She's also very excited that the machine she got worked and she removed all her chin hair. Good for her. I'm glad she's feeling good. She turns her camera around while she's in line because she's embarrassed to be streaming in the drive-thru. I mean, I'd say that ship has sailed, but it's a weird thing with everything else she does to be embarrassed. But I suppose, again, what she does in private is very different from what she does in front of other people. So there we go. She does seem to be in the drive-thru forever. Jesus, just forever, you guys. She talks a little bit about some internet acronym because her obsession with genitalia continues, essentially. I'm not getting into it. Travonda, that's it. She's got a follower called Travonda. She's the one who sent her the pickles. And Travonda comes on and Chantal says she has $100 of pickles on the way and she's going to order more on payday. That's a lot of pickles. Oh my God. But hey, she's got money to burn apparently. Finally, let's see. She gets her drink. In McDonald's, she ordered a donut and a drink because they were all out of everything. She sits in another parking lot. We're on like parking lot 3 or 4 at this point. And she got a maple caramel filled donut and a large coffee. She talks about a sex dream she had with Tom Skerritt and she just starts talking about movies she watched last night. That's why you haven't got clips of this. I'm sparing you. She is still mad. 2 hours later, she is still mad that Burger King gave her such crappy food and she's going to write an email. And then she goes, but I don't want to get anyone in trouble. But 2 hours later, she's still mad. And then she finishes burping and talking about, she's been burping through this whole thing, and talking about famous people that she finds hot or not. She then makes a point of telling us she has to go home to poop again. And she probably won't have another video up until next week because of whatever she's doing at the weekend, which she did not feel fit to share with us. Keep an eye on her Instagram, which has now been reinstated, and I'm sure we'll see pictures. So that was it. Boom, guys. I'm going to see if I can edit this down at all, but that was her live. Why do I do this to myself? The body's inability to remember pain. That is why. Like I said, I found the talk about BB interesting. Some of just kind of how she pictures certain situations going, how she acts in private versus how she reacts in public is quite interesting. There were some bits and pieces, but this was a lot to wade through. Put your thoughts, comments, questions below. Did you watch the whole thing? I didn't speed this up because I had to cut it. It was hard, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Apparently she won't have a video out for a few days, but whenever she does, I will see you next time. Bye bye, everybody.